Our dispatch system is called TriTech. That's the vendor who makes it, and it's a CAD system, so computer-aided dispatch. Basically, it's the neuro center of the fire department, so it tracks where the units are, what their status are, if they're available, if they're not, and tracks their time. So from the second we answer the phone until the second that the call is complete, all times are documented. Before CAD systems were put in place, fire departments dispatch centers would always rely on card systems. So if a call came in, they would answer the phone just like a normal handset instead of having a headset, and they would write the information all down on paper and pass the sheet along to another dispatcher. They would look it up on a map and see which stations were the closest, and then they would actually have to look through run cards is what they're called, and find who the closest station is. The computer is actively tracking all of those resources all at the same time with their GPS position. So we have different types of units for different types of emergencies. It's constantly monitoring where they're at. When we do have an incident come up, the computer pulls all of those resources and figures out who's closest of all of them, and the dispatcher will either agree or disagree with the computer, and we will send who needs to go. In all of the units that are driving around out there, they have a mobile data terminal that sees the same thing we see on our CAD system. So as they're driving around, when we type updated notes into the call, they can read what's occurring right then. And it also works as a GPS for them as well. So as they're responding to the call, it gives them directions to the scene. And from a responder point of view, if we have multiple units responding to a call, it gives them a heads up on where the other trucks are coming from to avoid collisions as they're responding. It's very efficient. We average 31 seconds from the time the phone rings until the time that the fire trucks are dispatched, and that's huge when seconds truly count in what we're dealing with. We largely respond to medical emergencies, and of course some of those are cardiac, some of them become cardiac arrests, and truly every second counts in those cases where if a person has stopped breathing, every second that ticks by, we're risking brain damage, we're risking death of that person.